Hello family, friends, fans and other wonders, and welcome to my review of Predator, Killer of Killers. Predator, Killer of Killers is an animated film directed by Dan Trachtenberg from a screenplay by Micho Robert Rutar and has a runtime of about 90 minutes or an hour and a half and is currently streaming on Disney Plus in Australia and Hulu internationally. The film stars the vocal works of Lindsay Lavanchon, apologies if I mispronounced that, Louis Ozawa, Rick Gonzalez, and Michael Biehn. After giving us the great Predator film Prey, Trachtenberg uses this animated feature to tell the stories of three different people from various times and places in the world. The story of each of the three people is told for approximately 25 minutes each before we then make our way to the final climactic part of the film. The film starts by introducing us to the Viking named Ursa before traveling to the 1600s in Japan and introducing us to Kenji, and finally to the United States where we're introduced to Torres during World War II. After we get their three individual backstories, we are then introduced to them all together as we get towards the end of the film. I thought that Trachtenberg did a fantastic job with Predator Killer of Killers. The stories themselves lent very well to animation, and I love the way that we had the three stories told before reaching into that final act where all three of their paths crossed. I'm not going to go into any spoilers, but each of their stories was very entertaining and action-packed, and each of them offer a different, unique piece of history as well, being from three different time periods, and the fact that the three of them interact towards the end of the film and they all speak different languages. And I love the fact that they also used that a little bit with regards to starting each of their individual stories. Like we started out seeing Ursa talking the Nordic Viking talk before they just transitioned over to speaking English, so obviously we could understand for those watching in English. And the middle story with Kenji in Japan was phenomenal in that very, very little dialogue was spoken. The majority of it was just grunts and groans, and action would take place, people would die, and so they'd make their uhs and things like that, dying sounds essentially. But other than that, very, very little dialogue was actually spoken, which was fantastic. That through the course of about 25 minutes of telling Kenji's story, the action and the pacing and the animation just carried the tense nature of this particular story, his backstory, and how he got to this point as we reach the climax of the film. Torres, again, same thing. They sort of started speaking a different language in the beginning and then transitioned over into English and made for entertaining storytelling. It sort of showed this kid that was quite ambitious a little bit, probably more ambitious than his sort of age and wisdom at the time would allow. I think that Trachtenberg also has an excellent grasp on sort of his idea and take on the Predator. Obviously, we've had the several Predator movies, and then we've had the Predator versus Aliens as well. And I think that Trachtenberg has made a fantastic film in Prey. Definitely, if you enjoy sort of the Predator films, definitely give yourself time to go and watch Prey. It's probably one of the better ones. Some people say it's the best Predator film or the best Predator film since Arnold Schwarzenegger's original. But I think it was a really excellent animated film that you should definitely check out. It's definitely more of an adult film for sure, since it's based around the Predator IP. So definitely not for the young kids to be watching, unless under supervision, of course. But definitely, if you loved Predator, you should take the time out and appreciate watching Predator Killer of Killers. I was definitely entertained watching Predator Killer of Killers. On an entertainment scale for me personally, it's a 4 out of 5. The animation was great, just was a little bit different from what you had seen from previous animated films. So therefore, it's same thing with like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Mutant Mayhem, where the animation is just a little bit different to what you typically see. And it took a second to get into the story, but once I sort of was in it, it was phenomenal to watch. Had a great time with it, great action, great amount of violence and gore. They really didn't hold back on the storytelling either. Telling the three different stories from three different time periods, and then the three characters sort of crossing paths at the end of the film as well, in the finale. And I love the fact that because they were from three different places, three different time periods, none of them could communicate with verbal language. It all had to be through their actions and their body language and learning to try and trust one another. It was a really phenomenal story told by Trachtenberg, and I can't wait for Predator Badlands later this year. There are no mid-credit or post-credit scenes for Predator Killer of Killers, so once the credits start rolling, you can turn the film off. However, if you do want to pay respect to those people that put in the long hours and the hard work to bring us Predator Killer of Killers, please do take the time to watch through the credits to the end. My overall rating for Predator Killer of Killers is a 7 out of 10. The animated stylings was an excellent choice for the format of the story that they wanted to tell. The 3 individual stories and then the way that they came together at the end was just masterful storytelling. And I loved particularly the middle story about Kenji and the samurai in Japan in the 1600s. The animation really lent itself well to some of the scenes during it, and I love the way that the story was basically told between 20 and 30 minutes with basically no dialogue. Just about no dialogue. Very, very minimal. There's obviously sounds of grunts and groans of people being killed and things like that, but the way that the story just keeps moving forward, the action carries it, the tense anticipation of what's going to happen next. I really enjoyed the other 2 stories as well. Ursa's story is a great way to start this film out because it does get very violent very quickly, and so it sort of sets us up for what we're going to watch as the rest of the movie unfolds. And then the ending part where all 3 of them sort of meet up, and the fact that the 3 characters can't speak the same language and they need to end up communicating through body language and their actions, I think says a lot for the storytelling here and about us being human through the course of history and trying to understand one another in times of needing to survive and adjusting to the situation that we have at hand. So Predator Killer of Killers, I would definitely recommend checking out if you love the Predator franchise. I had a great time with it. For those of us watching here in Australia, you can watch it on Disney+, and for those internationally, it is being shown on Hulu. So either Disney+ or Hulu is where you will find Predator Killer of Killers. My overall score for Predator Killer of Killers is a 7 out of 10. Thank you for watching my review of Predator Killer of Killers. I'm Jesse, the other wonder from Down Under. Please leave a comment down below on what your favorite Predator film is, or did you enjoy the Predator versus Alien films more? Leave a comment down below to let me know. Otherwise, if you do have something else you would like to say or any other recommendations, don't make me wonder. Leave a comment down under. I've also got a new disc plate store that's coming soon. I'll leave the link in the description below so you can check that out when the designs start coming up. But also remember to click that like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of my new videos. And remember to be the wonder.